a very windy Tuesday down at the lofts. As I said, I was going to do a little midweek video sort of thing, just so I can show you all the birds that we've got back. And you know, I've got a couple of other birds I need to show you, because I've got 2 strags I've actually got in that ended up coming back, well, coming in on, one was last week and one was Sunday, plus a bird of ours that we took it on a 20-mile chuck last week, and it came back and it got a rip on its leg, well, on its joint, a big rip open there, and obviously was then missing its last flight, so obviously that one's out for the season, unfortunately. So yeah, we'll have to have a look at those. But at this moment in time, I am in the first loft of ours, and I can show you some of the birds that we've got, because obviously on Saturday after the race we got 14 back, 13 missing still, but obviously then Saturday night, Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon, we ended up with a few more back, so in total we ended up getting another 7 back. From this side we are actually only 1 bird missing from what we sent on Saturday. I say plus we actually gained 1, because we got obviously a bird back from the first race. Where have you disappeared to? This one just down here, number 78. That one came back on Saturday, amongst all those other birds, but obviously that was actually the one from the first race. So we've gained a pigeon, thankfully, because we'd lost 8 from the first race. So I'm now still missing 8 from the first race, and we are still missing 5 from this weekend's race. But from this loft alone, we're only missing 1 from what we sent. So hey, darlings. Obviously she came back on the day. That one came back on the day. This one here is the checker one that come back from the first race midweek last week. That's RB, red ball that he didn't come back on the day. He came back yesterday. He was here when we got down here in the morning. It's such a windy day down here today. The lofts are banging around and everything. We've had to put the chains on to make sure the roof don't blow off. Hey, your darlings. Notice this is Goliath here, which is the first pigeon we got back on Saturday. You'll have seen his mum in the other videos. Again, same colour, big hen that we had racing called Rocky. She got us a 2nd club in the old bird season. Hey, your darlings. So this is this section here. This is first loft over this side, and we'll take a trungle over to the tiled roof loft and have a look at the birds over there. We are 4 missing from the tiled roof loft, but only 1 missing from this side. The 3 of the 4 that are missing from the tiled roof loft are the 3 of the cockbirds that we actually put aside for the widowhood system. Hey up, boys. So we've only got 3 cockbirds at the minute in here. Obviously, originally there was 9 birds in here. Obviously we're down to 3 that are missing from the race. Obviously the bird I was just telling you about that obviously got the rip down his leg, that's one of the cockbirds from out of here. So obviously he's in another section now. It's because obviously he's out for the season. Then the pied gold ringer that was actually in this box here, we just didn't want to risk him basically, because he's a damn good pigeon. So we've actually put him aside, and we're going to just race him as a yearling and see if we can get anything out of him as well. So obviously that's everybody. And then there was one, number 81, that went again on a chuck, the same chuck where that one that got obviously attacked, and he didn't come back, unfortunately. So dropping them like flies, losing them worse from training than we are from races. And in this side, hey everybody, hey Hello, darling. Come on, sweetheart. And you. So is this everybody in this side? Again, we've got one missing from this side, 3 missing from the cockbird section, and then 1 missing from the other loft. So that's the 5 that we've got in total missing. Here, my darlings. That black pied one there, where have you gone? This scruffy looking one here at the minute. And, oh, that's the scruffy-ish looking one just there. They're 3 of the late breds that we've got that are currently going through their body molts. So they look horrendous. Apart from her, actually, the dark pied one there, she actually doesn't seem to have started going through it. So I don't know what's happened. I mean, they did have not very long. They had about 5 days on the darkness system when we was actually doing that, because they were the very, very last rounders sort of thing. But we'll see. Again, like I say, I mean, there's still time for more birds to return. Yeah, and you know, I think we've done well there in regards to the fact that we've only got 5 missing from this weekend's race, and 2 more obviously have worked their way back from the first race, which is brilliant. And we're going to have a look at these strags that we've got, and we'll have a look at it's Rambo's lad that's the one with the injury, so we'll take a look at him. Right, so this is one of the strags that we've got in. A nice checker there. Obviously it's a NEHU, got with the orange clip ring and an ETS ring. Just waiting on this one to be collected. This one's from Leeds. So just show you him there, here, darling. And we actually, this one actually came into the loft while we were away. And obviously the person that was looking after our birds for us, they got it in. And then when they took our pigeons training for us, they took it with them. They chucked it up, and obviously it found its way back to our loft. So it's just thought it's easy just to see if we can get it collected. You know, get in touch with the owner and just get it collected instead. So that's what we did, and hopefully it should be collected sometime today or Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. So that's that one from Leeds. And we've got again another check. Yeah, darling. And it's a GB ring, telephone ring on that leg. Keep still, sweetheart, I know. Now this is one that we only got in yesterday. Oh, darling, I know. So we're just feeding this one up a minute because it's a little bit on the light side. So as soon as this one feels okay enough to go up, we'll obviously take that and chuck that one up to see if it can find its way home. But obviously we'll drive it a bit closer to home. This one's from Northumberland, so obviously again miles from us. So that's that one. Again, another lovely little check. But whatever we can do, what we can to help people get their birds back. You know, you're just hoping, you know, eventually that other people might end up getting your birds back. So any that we're missing, hopefully, we'll get them reported. Now, this big lad here, this is the one I told you about with the injury, where he's got the rip there on the leg, which is starting to heal up nicely and getting some little spines coming through from there, which is good. He is missing this last flight here, unfortunately, so that just puts him out for the season. But we'll just keep him aside because he's a nice pigeon, ain't you, darling? And he's got some good looking eyes. We'll have a look at his eyes at another time. Just obviously started throwing his flights out there anyway. But yeah, it'd be nice to see what he can do. Obviously he'll be racing as a yearling now, obviously with the injuries that he's got with his leg, and obviously again he's got a bit of an injury with his wing as well, just got a slight cut on there, and obviously with losing the end flight, so he'll be racing as a yearling, hopefully. Depends on whether or not you can last the training once we get to that point, so, but it should do. So we also have one very over-enthusiastic bird from the weekend's race that we have had reported, thankfully, and it must have been a little bit the distance must not have been long enough for it, because it was actually Dean McKee that's contacted me, who organises the Northern Classic, and he's contacted me and said that, you know, he's got one of our birds. We're actually picking it up tonight. I'll try and add that into the video as well. I'm actually picking it up tonight, and I think it's actually one of the cock birds from the tiled roof loft from the widowhood section. Fingers crossed it is, I think so. I mean, the number he gave me, I'm not quite sure it was fully correct, but it was about that point. So it was in 70s, the last two numbers on it. It was the only one that we're missing that's in the 70s is one of the cock birds from there. So fingers crossed it's that one, because you know, obviously, well, any bird back is better than none, isn't it? So I'll try and add that into the video about us going to collect that bird, because that'd be nice to show you that, to show you us picking him up. You know, I'm really grateful to Dean for actually obviously contacting us and letting us know that they got his bird. It was actually Dean's friend in Thurcroft that got the pigeon in, but obviously Dean spotted the wing stamp on it saying Dream Team Loft and was like, I know them, I'll get in touch. So that's when I got the phone call to say that he'd actually got his bird. So we arranged obviously to go and meet him when he takes his birds on a chuck, and we'll go meet him up there and pick it up. It's not far from us, so there was no point in throwing it up, sort of thing, and because it's coming from the wrong direction, because it actually, like I say, the distance probably wasn't long enough for it, clearly, because it overflew us by 30 miles. I mean, as the crow flies, but yeah, it overflown us by 30 odd miles, so clearly it's going, I need a longer distance. So hopefully that one will be alright for me, start going a bit further on the distances, but we'll see. But I hope you lot have had good returns anyway from your weekend's race. I hope any that you were missing have managed to wing all the way in, because that, you know, it'd be nice. I know the feeling that we get every time we get a return, it's like, oh, another one back, thank God for that. Because you kind of like, you just want them all back. Especially as young birds, you want them all back just so that you've got that team to build for, you know, next year, for your yearlings, for your old birds. So yeah, it's such a relieving feeling when you get them back. We're gutted with all the birds we've actually got missing from the first two races, because all his birds, you know, obviously they're all good birds, sort of thing, but you know, it's always the ones that you always had the higher hopes for that end up going missing. But it is what it is, I suppose. We'll get there, and it's more about making sure we've got birds to build for next year. That's what it was. But we'll hopefully get some more back. Like I say, I hope you've had a good return from your race. So, things haven't gone exactly according to plan today. Obviously I wanted to go and show you, obviously, us picking up the pigeon that got reported by Dean McKee, who organises the Northern Classic. But unfortunately, obviously, with the weather that we had at that point, it has to be put back till tomorrow, because obviously he couldn't train his birds at that point, and it was pointless him driving that far just to drop our bird off. So obviously we're going to meet him tomorrow for that. The strays I was telling you about earlier, obviously what the NEHU one had been arranged between the owner and Carl Douglas, who runs the stray centre, to be collected and get back up to him. But the other one that we got, obviously that one's from Burnley, not from Northumberland, when I said earlier. That one is hopefully also being picked up, and again through the same system, and hopefully getting that closer to home before it gets released. Obviously, with what we were going to do, we were just going to drive it, you know, 5-10 mile closer to home, sort of thing, and let it up, which isn't really far enough. I mean, it's a good old distance from here to Burnley, you see, so it was going to be pointless. That poor little thing's got to fly miles after that. where it's probably only done 80-90 mile races. So yeah, so obviously I'm thankful that's been arranged through that. Hopefully that it might be able to get home, or at least a bit closer, so at least if it ends up in someone else's loft further up, it's not going to be as far for the owner to come and collect. Obviously it would have been 2.5, nearly 3 hours for him to come and collect it from here, you see. So thankfully that's getting sorted. Now previously I'd said, going back quite a while ago, that we got obviously 2 gold ring races that fell on the same weekend. And to what I've just found out tonight that I didn't know of, is actually the gold ring race for the what do we have, 7 birds that we had, has been cancelled. So we've only got the 1 gold ring race, as far as I'm aware, unless they've both been cancelled, I don't know. But as far as I'm aware, one's been cancelled, the other one's still going ahead. So next weekend should be our gold ring race, to which we only have 1 pigeon in that. We only had 2 in it to start with, but unfortunately one hasn't come back from this weekend's race yet. So I'm hoping that it does come back. If not, there is only 1 pigeon entered into that. So we'll see. Just fingers crossed for that one, because you know, we actually didn't expect to have any birds left for it, to be fair, but we're quite glad we do. Again, like I said, we only had the 2 pigeons in it to start with, so we'll see. Hopefully it'll come back, but it might not. But yeah, so the other pigeons that we had for it, 2 haven't come back from the race. One's in the loft over here that has actually had 2 races, so that one's okay. And the third one is actually one that we put into the stock loft, because it was, you know, it's just how it got stuck, we didn't want to lose it. So fingers crossed that we can keep hold of them. Gutted actually that there's no gold ring race for them, because I was quite excited to have a gold ring race for them, but never mind. It is what it is. We'll hopefully get to have an attempt at it at another point. But yeah, I'll hopefully see you all Saturday for a race, as long as the weather stays nice, or at least something like. As far as I'm aware, it's still going ahead at the minute, but you know how quickly the British weather can change. So I'll see you Saturday.